Ooh, look at that. Look at that meat pie. That's why you gotta have the right rod set up, so they don't come unpinned. The Marabou Hair Jig is a bait that I have struggled to gain confidence in, find success, but I know it's something that works. I've seen guys like Seth Fider, Josh Douglas, Jeff Gustafson, other people locally have tons of success. Vermilion, Mille Lacs, Smallmouth, all over on this little hair jig. The Northland Marabou Hair Jig is a good off-the-shelf hair jig that catches a lot of fish. What was holding me back? I think for me, it was not having the right setup to have the right success. To fling, I mean, I had a whole box of hair jigs of all kinds. And, you know, part of it is being able to fling these little tiny guys, get distance, have the right rod action to cast it far enough to load up on the fish and work the bait properly is a big key, I think, to having success with this bait. And for the longest time, I was just trying to get by with drop shot rods and Ned rods and things like that, and it just never really clicked. So I finally invested in a new rod. This year, I got the Dobyns DX 741. So that's a 7-foot, 4-inch, 1-power Dobyns rod. So they describe this as a light, fast action. 4 to 10 pound line, 1/16 to 3/8 ounce. And once I started this, loaded up a size 3 to 4,000 reel, 8 to 10 pound braid, 8 pound leader. Instantly, I could cast this thing sufficiently. I feel like with the 1-power rod, I could feel what the bait was or was not doing, work it correctly, and pretty quickly, we got bit. And we started catching them. And once I started catching them, it just kind of snowballed. Pretty simple. Ball here. Got a face full of that poop ball. Keeping unpinned. Like that. And that little mustache. Bingo. Down right in the little. Yes, sir. Little belly pat. Little bonus tip here. You can see got a little piece of max scent in there. That max scent does a couple things. It bulks out the hair a little bit to give a little more fuller profile. So when you're pulling it through the water and it's kind of bulks it up, gives you a little more weight for casting, but doesn't really change the weight of how it sinks in the water. So you can still get that slow hover stroll. So more casting weight without changing the sink rate, if that makes sense, because the max scent is kind of neutrally buoyant, like especially when you're pulling on it. Plus, you get a little bit of scent, so when the fish comes up, you know, maybe as they're trailing it, they pick up a little of that max scent, they're more likely to commit. Also when they grab it, they just get a little bit, they feel a little something with that hook, so you got a split second to drill them with that hook. And if you want, you know, you can use a Senko or a max scent or something like that, but you can also add a little bit of extra scent to whatever piece of plastic on there, and that helps hold the scent, because there's really nothing else to hold the scent. You don't want your hair all matted up. But I found, you can see lots of fish catches in a session in this video. This 7'4" casts really well. I can feel the bait. When I set, it loads up great. You keep the fish pinned on this little hook. The tip, you can see the tip of this rod, really light, allows you to cast this bait very efficiently. And when the fish is shaking and jumping and doing all the things, that helps keep tension on that little wire hook. Another one, pinned. Top of the mouth. Look at all that. And down in the mud. It's got an old tag on him from like way back. Like this is a DNR tag, but it's so mossed up you can't even see it. Crazy. 8 to 10 pound braid. Long 7-pound sniper leader. Just a little nugget of max scent under that Northland hair jig, 3/32. Let's get another one. So if you've been struggling like me, this is a great non-custom rod off the shelf that can fish this bait effectively, unlock, and potentially getting you on some, you know, pre-spawn, post-spawn, finicky fish, mayfly hatch. This can be an unlock when some things, when other baits won't get bit. This hair jig can really be a game changer for smallmouth. Getting the reps on the old hair jig tonight. $7'4", 1 power. Cast this little 3/32 ounce jig. Enough backbone to drive her home. They're cold. Came up, mud on their bellies right there. Not super aggressive. Doing the trick. You can also use this rod, super light Ned heads, strolling super tiny minnows, 2.8 Kitex, super small spy baits, maybe little karashis. So there's a lot of things you could use this rod for, but primarily a hair jig rod. I'll put links down in the description for this rod, the Northland hair jigs if you want to check them out, and anything you need for the full setup. They do make some long light power rods in the Champion XP series and the Sierra series. I'll link those down below if the Champion Extreme is not in your budget. But really, getting that right rod and reel line setup is the key to unlocking the hair jig if you struggled with it before. You're looking for more spinning rod setup recommendations and options, check out this spinning rod arsenal video on the screen right here next. Good tip. It's a good investment. It's great for carrying around. You got to transport them, so I highly recommend getting some kind of rod cover for your rods. I like to color match them.